Hello, and welcome to another episode of Life Stuff 101. This is day 15 of the series of mini episodes as part of the Challenging Times Self-Care Challenge. My name is Mio Yokoi. I work as a registered psychotherapist in Toronto, Canada, and also as a coach and supporter to striving, highly sensitive folks everywhere. Before we begin, I'd like to make sure to mention that what I share on this podcast is for general information purposes only and not meant to be specific advice. And for personalized help, questions, or concerns you may have, please consult your doctor or appropriate medical or mental health care provider. Welcome to day 15 of the Challenging Times Self-Care Challenge. The goal of this podcast is to inspire folks to take care of mental health on an ongoing basis, and this time more than ever is a crucial time to do so. And these self-care challenge episodes are meant to give you a little something to add a bit of structure to your day to help with self-care. It's also my hope that by building in some time for self-care, it might also help to support your emotional and mental health during this challenging time. Or even if these prompts serve just as distractions for a few minutes in your day, I hope that might be of help too. And I'll also make sure to repeat in every one of these episodes that this is a very challenging time in our lives, and just getting through day to day, moment to moment, sometimes even minute to minute, in and of itself can be a lot. So these self-care prompts are here to support you. And this challenge isn't about productivity or just getting things done. It's about taking care of yourself. If you'd like to be notified when each of these episodes are uploaded, you can either subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can also go on over to lifestuff101.com/challenge, which has a list of every episode. So before we dive into day 15 of the challenge, day 14, the challenge prompt was, take time for reflection. One of the things I'm learning about myself during this time is that as much as I intend to take time for self-reflection on a regular basis, in the past anyway, I'll admit that it wasn't something I did as consistently as I would have liked. The truth is, as much as I'd like to do all the things for my mental health and self-care on an ongoing basis, and there is a number of things on my list that I know would most benefit me if I did them consistently, during day-to-day life when things were in the past, I guess, like more normal, I didn't always prioritize all those things regularly. And a regular self-reflection practice is definitely one of the things that I wasn't always as consistent as I would have liked to have been. This current situation with being at home has meant that I actually am self-reflecting more. And it's so easy to just get caught up in the day-to-day, as I was saying, just in the past when things were, they seem like it was regular life. I'm sure there will be a time in the distant future where we will be getting back to what feels more like that regular life. But I know for myself that having the time to self-reflect has meant that it's helping me take care of myself during what's currently happening. But also, I think I'm now in the process of making certain adjustments for myself so that I can have a better foundation within myself for the future. And making time for self-reflection is allowing me to do that. Now, I realize that every one of us is in a different situation. And for some, this idea of self-reflection might potentially sound self-indulgent. It could be that there's a lot that you're thinking about and feeling right now, and all those thoughts and feelings can be overwhelming, and it's totally understandable that they would be. And that's part of what we'll be talking about, the day 15 prompt today. But before we get to that, I'd love to know how you made out with day 14 of the challenge, which is about self-reflection. You can find me or share with me on Twitter at LifeStuff101pod, or on Instagram at LifeStuff101podcast, or on the website at LifeStuff101.com. Okay, so let's get into day 15. And today's self-care prompt is, identify 3 things that can help ground you. As I mentioned a few moments ago, when we find ourselves in our heads with all the thoughts and feelings we might be experiencing, You might also notice that your breath is shallow, so that you're not taking very deep breaths that go into your belly. So you're just taking maybe shorter, more shallow breaths. And that you might also feel that a lot of your energy is concentrated around your head and maybe more in your upper body. Sometimes it can also feel like you're not even in your body at all. It's like you're so engrossed in your thoughts that it might even feel like you're outside of your body altogether. It can also be that you notice not remembering something that you were thinking of doing just a moment ago. Or maybe you're noticing that your mind has been so focused on this one thought that's occupying you that there are chunks of time you're not able to account for. And if you're noticing that any of these things are true for you, these could be ways that you can tell that you're not feeling grounded. Or another way of putting it, when we're not feeling grounded, it might be that we're not in touch with the present moment. And what can be really tough is that once we start thinking and thinking and thinking, which can feel like spinning or having cycling thoughts, it might also lead to a sense of overwhelm. And when we're overwhelmed, it can be challenging to figure out what you can do that might help you to shift your state or to just get out of your head during these times. Which is why today we're going to identify 3 things to help ground you so you can add it to your self-care toolkit and to have them available to you when you might need it the next time there's a sense of that overwhelm or the overthinking. The day 15 of the self-care challenge is identify 3 things that can help ground you. And so here are your steps for today's challenge. Step 1. Set aside 10 minutes today to dedicate to completing today's self-care prompt. Step 2. Before beginning, take 3 slow, deep breaths. Step 3. We are going to identify 3 things that's going to help with shifting your state and to help ground you. And just so to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to give you the first 2. The first is clench and release your fists. So clench your fists really, 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 really hard and release. That's number 1. It's something that can help ground you. And the second is what maybe we can call the categories game. And it works by you choosing a category. And it could be anything like food, sports, colors, animals, movies, flowers, authors, whatever category which you have an interest in, and list out everything you can from that category. So when you're overwhelmed or you need some grounding, playing the categories game can help. The third thing to help ground you is something for you to come up with. If you can identify one thing you like to do actively that helps to ground you. So for instance, do you like to go for walks? Do you like to clean the kitchen or bathroom or another area in your home which helps to ground you? Do you like to organize things? Maybe it's your closet or some paperwork. Do you like to dance to your favorite song? Or maybe you like to sing. Or maybe you like to cook. Whatever it might be, identify something specifically that gets you active in doing something. Step 4. Put this list of these 3 things into or make them a part of your self-care toolkit. And step 5, end off the exercise by taking 3 slow, deep breaths. I'd love to hear about your thoughts about today's challenge, and I'd also like to know how you're doing. Please reach out to me on Twitter at LifeStuff101pod or on Instagram at LifeStuff101podcast or on the website at LifeStuff101.com. So that's day 15 of the Challenging Times Self-Care Challenge. Identify 3 things that can help ground you. Thank you for participating in these challenges and stay tuned for day 16 of this self-care challenge. Until then, please stay safe and in good health wherever you are in the world, and I'll be speaking with you again for day 16 of the Challenging Times Self-Care Challenge real soon.